All right, it is Wednesday, December 9th, a little after 6:30. This Fans View Live coming at you. We got Carl, John, Lauren, Anthony, and myself. So, how's everybody doing?
Good now that I got volume.
Oh, God. All right.
I was trying to get you muted. So we could have this conversation with, all about Dougie P and stuff.
Yeah, we're not going to blame you, Carl. We're going to blame John.
I would.
I blame myself. That's fine. I got caught red-handed. It's okay.
What's behind you, John?
Christmas tree.
When are you going to decorate it?
Well, we just cut it down yesterday.
Where'd you go to cut it?
Up a tree farm up near us, up here in Langhorne, up towards Peddler's Village.
I cut mine down yesterday too.
Oh, well, you're able to decorate yours. I wasn't able to decorate mine, so.
He didn't cut that tree down.
No, I know.
No, but it looks fantastic though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks good.
Looks good.
Wait, do you have a white tree next to it?
Yeah. Yeah,
way.
There's another one.
That's the Dago tree.
That's a work in progress.
That's the Dago tree.
That's a work in progress.
That's a South Philly Dago tree, right?
What, a white tree?
Oh yeah.
A white tree with tinsel on it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What do you mean by a work in progress? Do you add decorations as it goes along, or?
Lauren, I'll throw it to you.
Well, I didn't realize that I had to provide everything for him. I bought the tree, I bought the topper, and I bought a box of ornaments, but apparently that wasn't enough ornaments, so he wants more ornaments. By the time he gets it to the shop, Christmas will be over. So Apparently it's a work in progress.
It'll be good for 2021.
Stop. It's a work in progress. Nothing wrong with that.
Well,
Santa's watching, so be careful. Santa's watching, so.
Yeah.
Some people have an elf on a shelf. I got a Santa on a shelf. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Yep.
All right.
So we've already wasted 18 minutes, 9 of which I was muted.
It's all right. We can go a little over, so it's quite all right. So
we'll throw
it to this guy, and we'll go with wrap up of 41 and
on to 42.
Move on to the debacle of 42.
Oh, it's no debacle. We all know Chase Utley's winning 42, but that's okay. No. Charlie Manuel won number 41.
Wow, that's a shock.
It was a runaway. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the full numbers because Facebook has us on the radar now, and we got
Wait! They don't have us. They have you. You're the culprit.
Oh,
see, they're Dougie P fans, and you pissed them off. So there you go.
Well, that makes sense with the rules that they're Dougie P guy. But our polls have gotten shrunk, so we won't be able to share as many polls as we have been able to.
So how many times have you shared it, John? Like 100?
Well, this one for the main one, I usually share about 60 times, maybe. and then the other polls, it all depends on the groups. Some of them are 40. The Phillies ones are 40, the Flyers ones are in the 40s, and then the Sixers are in the 25-ish that I'm in. So, it all changes. And then the outsider one, I have a bunch of other ones that we share there, about 15 or 20. So
we're lucky to even be live tonight.
Yeah.
Well, hey, everybody loves them. Everybody loves the polls. We get a lot of votes coming in with those polls,
and a lot of comments.
We do. Yeah. So Charlie Manuel, the last time I saw it, was up by 360 votes over Tom Seaver, I believe it was. He was running away with it. So some of our numbers from the polls that we did this week were a little skewed as well. But it's all good. We know who we're going to vote for this one. So for number 42, well, we do. Yeah. For 42 for the Phillies, we have Ron Reed, a member of the 80 World Series champion and a member of the 83 National League champion team, an All-Star in 1968. Played with the Phillies from 76 to 83. For the Eagles, we have Keith Byers. He played from 86 to 92. More people think he's a 41, but the Eagles themselves on their website has him as the best player to wear 42 for the Eagles. So we got him.
There's a problem.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was one of those ones. I guess they were. Who was it? Roynell Young. I think it was. Was that who it was for 41 last week? So I think they were trying to get both of them in there. So even they, fudged the numbers a little bit. But
You blaming that on Dougie P too?
no, Dougie's Pete. He's not smart enough to figure out the computer. But Keith Byers was a member of the 75th anniversary Eagles team. Came out of Ohio State, was a runner-up in the Heisman Trophy in '84. For the Flyers, we have Robert Esch. Played with the Flyers from 2003 to 2004. He played 128 games. I'm sorry. He played for 4 years with the Flyers, and he was the Pelle Lindbergh Memorial Award winner in 2003. Played 128 games with the Flyers, 60 wins, 40 losses, and 16 ties. For the 76ers, we have Theo Ratliff, a member of the Sixers that went to the championship with Iverson, an All-Star in 01. He was a 3-time NBA blocks leader. And for the outsider, we have one guy named Jackie Robinson.
Who?
I don't know if anybody's heard of him, but
Never.
He's a special guy. 6-time All-Star, World Series champion in 1955, the MVP in 1949, Rookie of the Year in 47, batting champion in 49. His numbers retired by the Dodgers and Major League Baseball overall. And he's a member of the Hall of Fame. And he has his own day, which leads to controversy.
Not for these people.
Not for that, but
not for three squares. Not for 3 squares.
And a member of the Hall of Fame in 1962. So, but no, it's a good controversy because we could add extra people, but we know who's going to win. So, Mario, who's your vote?
Yeah, I'm going with Jackie Robinson. Come on. Why are you even asking this question?
We have to. It's part of the show. It's our game. We got to finish out number 42.
All right.
Lauren?
Also, Jackie Robinson.
All right. Anthony?
Jackie Robinson, but you know what? If he wasn't in this, I would have definitely said Theo Ratliff because you haven't had enough Sixers, and that's a pretty good name. But definitely Jackie Robinson. And
actually, when our votes got cut off, Jerry Stackhouse was winning prior to our votes got cut off, and then had to put him in there. And Stackhouse didn't get some of the votes. I was surprised on that. I thought Theo would have wanted, as well, which he did. But I was surprised that Stackhouse got a little bit more. Carl, who do you got?
I got to make an exception. It's all about Jackie Robinson, but I promised that I would never include an outsider, in my voting.
I think you can make an exception for this one.
Can I?
Yes.
Are we good? We good with that?
Yes.
What were you going to vote for?
None of the guys that John found appealing. I don't know where John gets these lists. I honestly don't. And he'll tell you, I question him every week. I'm like, where are you getting this? But here's my logic to 42 and voting for Jackie Robinson. Making an exception because the entire 08 Phillies wore number 42 the year they won the World Series. So That's why I'm going with Jackie Robinson.
I don't know what you just said, but okay. Yep.
He's justifying going for the outsider by
Absolutely, I have to.
by linking
have
it to
to.
the right by linking it to the
I'm
Phillies.
linking it to the 08 team.
Chase Utley.
John probably thinks that, Dougie P had something to do with the 08 team too. I for God's sake, I have no idea, but
No, because they won that one. So I know he didn't have anything to do with it.
yeah, Jackie Robinson, number 42.
John, you going with Chase Utley?
No, I'm going. No, I'm going with Jackie as well. Of course,
Okay.
He's a pioneer in the baseball. It's definitely well deserved. I think we even went outside with that Roberto Clemente, Carl. I believe you
We
did as
did.
well.
We did. Good. I wasn't sure you would remember.
Oh, I remember. I remember. It's a steel vault up here.
Yeah.
It's either steel or the wall. One, I don't know.
Or rock? Not sure.
It's something up there. But yeah, no. Jackie's definitely. There's no other number 42.
Right.
So
Hey, nice cup. I saw that. I like that.
Thank you.
Nice cup. You steal that out of the store? Nice.
Borrow.
Stole.
Just take it out of my pay.
Yeah, here we go.
mhm.
So where are we going tonight? I had a quick message prior to going on. Santa thought he was on for the whole month of December.
So we're all now on the naughty list.
So I had to quickly no, that was just last week.
Man,
There was a misunderstanding with Santa. So I don't know what to tell you guys.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's
We're all getting nothing for Christmas. Thanks,
tough one.
Carl.
How's it my fault? How's it my fault?
You are our liaison between us and Santa. You got the hotline.
No.
No?
Yes.
No.
But
Not at all. All right, so let's get down to some serious business. We're halfway through the show, but I got to bring Anthony in because he's our resident minor league baseball expert. He's got a lot of information to share with us, a lot of breaking news. Hopefully he can take up the next 38 38 minutes, and that'll take care of John for the show. So,
we have a little fantasy football we got to get into, but so
that's right.
Yeah.
All right.
So he can't do it all.
Let's
But
let's talk some minor league baseball right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the list came out today around. Some teams announced it around 12. Some teams announced it around 1 or 1:30. There were a couple surprises in there. Actually, not too many. I mean, it was all the short season teams for the most part, which we knew was going to happen. So the New York Penn League, the Pioneer League, they're all gone for the most part. New York Penn League obviously kept Brooklyn, which is a Mets affiliate now, and they kept Hudson Valley, which is a Yankees affiliate. But other than that, every single team in there lost their affiliation. Now, some of those teams are in this new MLB Draft League, which is what Trenton is currently in, and it's sort of a wood bat league for what I understand is actually high schoolers / college players to be seen, hopefully to get, a contract with one of the major league teams. But Trenton was the biggest name from affiliated baseball that, lost their affiliation. The other big one was the Jackson Generals. They're in Jackson, Mississippi. Those were the two AA teams. Other than that, it's a handful single A teams, and I would, it's about 10 or 12 of those teams, and the rest are all New York Penn League teams / Appalachian League teams that probably knew it was coming. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough one. All in all, it could have certainly been worse. But I think, by only having 2 teams at the higher level being, you sort of gotten rid of, that it's not as bad as it could have been. Now, obviously, all those people coming to work, have a tough time. I was telling John before this started, one of the Marlins teams was a team in Clinton, I think Iowa, maybe, Clinton Lumber Kings. And when the Marlins posted their affiliates on Twitter, the Clinton team posted a telephone call would have been nice. So, just the way that it's been kind of going around has been a little tough on these teams. The other thing is that these teams have been invited to be part of Major League Baseball's developmental organization. But the other issue is teams don't necessarily know what that means. So, like, it's almost as if, say you asked your realtor to buy a house, on a street, and you want a 4-bedroom house, 2 bathrooms, a jacuzzi, whatever, and he gets back to you and says, "Hey, we can get you a house in the neighborhood, but you have to sign here right now," and you don't know what's included with it. So, when you're buying a car, you wouldn't sign that contract when you don't know what's going on with the car. But, they sort of have the upper hand, obviously, because they're the major league team. So, you have a lot of teams today that are obviously and rightfully so excited about the affiliation and shouting it from the rooftop, which is great. But in the coming weeks, you'll sort of find what that entails. And some teams, I'm imagining, will find it tough to sign that agreement today because I don't know that they know everything that's included with it. If you get to have an agreement, but you have to upgrade your facilities X amount, and you have to send 2 buses instead of 1, and you have to do this and you have to do that, and you have to do all these facility upgrades, or you have to pay money to go to a higher level because you were moved from single A to double A and there's a cost, or double A to triple A and there's a cost to that. It'll be just interesting to see what happens. And nowhere else have I ever seen where you sign something and you don't necessarily know what's included with it. You're going to be an affiliate, but you don't know how that's going to affect your bottom line. That's tough for a business person. You're putting these people in a really tough spot that they have to sign this contract, but not know what's going to happen. Now, I'm imagining everything will be okay. I'm imagining most teams will sign that and figure out the ramifications later and how they can make it work. But I don't know. It's an interesting day. Obviously we're excited that we have a team, and we never thought we wouldn't have a team. We knew the Phillies were going to take care of us, which is great. But you can't get too excited because you have a lot of friends in the country that are out of jobs, and it's going to be even harder now to get a job with less teams. So that's kind of where we're at. Nothing really unexpected. All the teams in the Eastern League that we had, other than Trenton, are still currently affiliated with the new deals. Look to be about 10-year deals. Seems like Major League Baseball doesn't want to deal with the 2 or 4 year deals anymore. But in those 10 years, you have to, I'm sure some teams might get 5 years if their facilities aren't up to snuff to get them up to date. But you're going to have to get your facility where it needs to be. I don't think Major League Baseball wants to deal with it for every 2 or 4 years. So that's kind of where we are today. It's nice and all, but it's sort of bittersweet for a lot of people. And then obviously, not only this, we also have to, next step is, it's great, right? It's great. We sort of knew it was coming, so it's nice. But next thing is a schedule so we can do our job. And even when we have the schedule, there's this little thing called COVID in the background. So it was just the perfect mix of things to happen this year for Major League Baseball to sort of take control. And that's kind of where we are.
So how is this going to affect, obviously, employees like yourself that are be affected, but how is it going to affect the players, like in the lower, like down in Clearwater, they have the the A and B team, and that are
Yeah, so like Clearwater in general. So you used to be, Clearwater was a higher A team. So, you'd be in Lakewood. Then if you get promoted, you got to fly to Clearwater. And then from there, you'd have to fly to Reading, which didn't make much sense when you think about it logistically. So now the teams in Florida are going to be the lower level. And then you'll come to Lakewood and Reading and Allentown real close to each other, which makes a lot more sense. But as far as drafting and things like that, it is going to be extremely tough, in my opinion, to if you're a Mike Piazza, Raul Ibanez, those type guys, to be seen. You're going to have to either play in this draft league, which is a college wood bat league. Those will still exist. You're just going to have to crush it there to be seen. I think they're getting rid of one of the draft will be way shorter.
Mm-hmm.
They want the draft to be a little bit more lively. It'd be a little bit more like Major League, like NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just going to be harder to be seen. And if you're one of those guys that are like in between, you better do something really special over this upcoming spring training. And I don't even know what happens to all those guys. I mean, if you're with you're still with the organization itself until they tell you you're not. But there might not be room for you depending on what level you're at. So yeah, it's just tough. It's sort of the way of the world now. Everybody's sort of consolidating.
Because it's the Gulf Coast League, right? That was the one that's below Clearwater. That's down there. They have the two, below Lakewood really as well, but down in Clearwater.
Yeah, I know they'll have the 4 affiliates. I don't know how that Gulf Coast League, works with that. I don't know. I mean, they're going to have to still have players down there to practice and do things like that. I don't know how that will affect them. I mean, there have been actually teams in Florida that have been, eliminated, which, was a little bit of a shock. Like I think the Charlotte Stone Crabs. I don't know if they played Clearwater, if they were in a higher division, but they're losing affiliation. I'm pretty sure that's where Tampa plays its spring training games, because I'm pretty sure we saw the Pirates play Tampa at that spring training facility. They must have just gotten rid of their team that's there all the time. So yeah, it's just it's a tough time, and we don't really know. The next thing would be getting a schedule. Is it still the Eastern League that we're in? Is it another league that's in charge of it? Is our president allowed to make the schedule? Does someone else make the schedule? It's just a lot of stuff in a short period of time. And I think if people had more, let's say you say, hey, we're going to do this over the next 2 years, Major League Baseball would like to take control over it. That might have been a little bit easier pill to swallow for a lot of people. But it was sort of kind of put on you really quickly. And it's never a good time, but this time of year, it makes it a little tougher for those people and their families.
Correct.
So on a personal level, with this announcement from Major League Baseball and specifically the Reading Fightin' Phils baseball town, does this make it easier for you to go out and be able to do your job for 2021? Where does that stand?
No, I mean, I don't think, honestly, I think 99% of people in general, other than us sports fans, 99% of people don't even know this is happening.
Right.
You only really know about it if the news hit today in your town, you definitely know about it. We were never in consideration for that. So I don't think it's going to make that any easier for me, because I don't think I'm not going to get one email that says, hey, congratulations. We didn't even really gloat about it too much because everyone knew it was going to happen.
Right.
The tougher part is not having a schedule. We have an internal schedule from the Eastern League that we're working with, but we don't know if that's the proper schedule that we can sort of bestow on everything, because we don't know if they'd have the authority as of today to sort of put that out. So the toughest part about my job right now is not having a schedule, knowing how to place people, not knowing how many games we're going to be able to play with COVID. Obviously, we're going to want to try to get as many things as we can if we have a shorter schedule, which I hope we don't. I hope we could play in April. But the hardest thing about my job right now is calling any new business, because it's very difficult. If you have a relationship with us, you understand that we're not going to screw you over, and we're going to take care of you. And we don't have a season, we're not going to charge you, and we're going to figure it out. But if you're a new person that doesn't know that, it's very difficult. For example, I called a restaurant a few days ago. They emailed me back today and said, hey, love what you guys do over there. The governor's about to put me out of business. Good luck. And you're going to, it's very political right now. It's very, one-sided. You have some sponsors like grocery stores that might be crushing it. That doesn't necessarily mean they want to spend more money, but they're crushing it. And you have other places that are barely surviving. So it's just a very difficult time to create any business right now. We're trying to keep as much business as we had and grow whatever we can. It's going to be hard, though. It's definitely going to be hard.
I think Brian brings up a great question about the reduction of talent because you're eliminating teams, so you're eliminating players essentially. The Phillies aren't going to still have 200 players in uniform. Where does that number get reduced to? Because you're eliminating a team. I know it's only a short season team in Williamsport, but still you're eliminating a team. You're eliminating a coaching staff. You're eliminating, a business per se. I guess his question is, does that make the talent more valuable? Is it more, a process where, you can, you're going to eliminate some guys that probably never really had a chance to move forward. But, what's the progression there? How does that, any sense? You guys have any ideas?
Yeah, I'm sure the talent would theoretically be better because you're at a higher level.
Right.
But, every once in a while there are guys that do make it. There are a lot of guys that have actually come through the New York Penn League and a lot of those leagues. One of the teams that was eliminated today was the team in Vermont, who've had many different names. Their current name is the Lake Monsters, but they used to be the Vermont Expos and the A's and the Mariners, and Ken Griffey Jr. came through there. So that's a place where he played. And Ken Caminiti and a bunch of these guys. And every one of those teams has a story like that. Now, for every one of those guys, there's probably 1,000 guys that aren't. So I think if you're really good, you'll probably be seen. It's not like baseball is going to be stopping. You're going to be playing in wood bat leagues. Someone will find you if you're that good. It just really stinks for the communities. I know Major League Baseball is going to try to keep a wood bat league in all those areas. But, like, for example, this draft league has some of those teams, but like the teams that were eliminated today, we don't know what the team in Vermont, because they're kind of far from everyone. Who would they even play? The teams near Buffalo, Batavia, and Auburn. Who are they going to play? They're not in any. They have no affiliation right now with anything.
Right.
They can't afford to be an independent team because you have to pay for all those fees associated with travel and all that. So, it's. I'm hoping, a lot of those teams have some type of summer league that they create just with the teams in their area and keep baseball in those communities. And maybe if it's college kids, maybe it's still feasible for those short season teams because there's only 30 games anyway. You might not have to pay the kids. Maybe you have the same attendance anyway because it's only 35 games anyway. So I'm hoping it will exist. Their level of play probably won't be the same, but I imagine the people in those towns at this point would just be happy to have a team.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, there you go. There's our minor league update brought to you by Anthony Pignetti. And where are we going from here, John? I'm going to give you two options. You get one. You want to talk Wentz versus Hurts, or you want to talk fantasy football? You get one.
Ooh.
Wow.
You get one.
He doesn't know what to do because he's got to get the fantasy football in.
Yeah. What's more important to you, John?
I know.
Well,
you get one. You get one.
It's a team show. It's a show. We got to get the fantasy football in there.
You disappointed me. You really disappointed me. You really did. I gave you a shot to blow it open, and you disappointed me.
Well, but there's nothing to blow open. It's the same thing. Like if Hurts struggles, you can't blame him either. It's this whole team around them. So it's what I've been saying about Wentz. I'm not blaming him for anything. So
You got one,
I know.
and you're using it.
Yeah, we're using it for the fantasy football.
All right, take it away. Let's give that
You
prize
found a way
away.
to get both in there, Carl.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll get more time. We'll get the football in there eventually. But.
Well, I'm just personally curious if Hurts gets out there and does better.
Well, hey, if he does, that'd be great. I'd love to see it. 'Cause we're Eagles fans. I mean, and then we'll know that it was Wentz.
John, from the few plays last week, obviously it's a very short blip, but wouldn't you say he looked a little bit more crisp in general?
He looked more excited, I could tell you that much.
His passes seem to be a little on cue. They're not behind or ahead.
What are we talking about anyway?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, you saw balls drop. He missed some open guys too. And again, I'm not going to complain. I'm going to say stuff, but I'm not bashing Hurts. It's not the quarterback's fault.
But to Lauren's point, don't you think he has a reason to be like that? Because he's fighting for a job, whether it's with the Eagles or whether this is his chance to become trade bait and get traded to another team.
Who's that? Hurts. Well, no. If Hurts does well, he's the Eagles quarterback. I mean,
but
it's
from what you meant, Lawrence said he looked more excited to be out there. Of course he does.
No, I don't know that. I really don't know that he was. Again, I'm not trying to downplay him. I don't know that he was that great. I mean, he had a nice throw to Reagor on third down for his first series. His first series ended up in a punt. If it wasn't for him running, he didn't move the ball other than that one nice pass that he had to Reagor, which was a very nice pass. The second drive, he ends up, it was 4th and 18, and it's a broken play, and he gets a touchdown to Greg Ward. Nice pass again. After that, the defense was playing more prevent, and then once they shut down, once Reagor had the punt return, they're like, okay, the game's on now. And they went back, and then you saw the wide receivers dropping balls again, and not getting open after that. So we'll see what happens in the full game. I mean, you had 4 series, 2 of them ended up in a punt. One was a touchdown and one was an interception. So, I mean, everybody sees that touchdown pass, and now he's, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's exciting because it was better than what Wentz was doing. But people think that was more exciting. But I think there's more to it than what it was.
And he's starting this week.
Oh, he's starting this week, and but he should be starting the rest of the year. Once you made this move, I mean, there's no going back to Hurts or Wentz unless he's hurt. There's because you took the genie out of the bottle. So
I guess you're right, John. I mean, they stink with him or without him. I mean, they're a little better with him. It felt like, he made.
Well, I mean, it was more exciting because it was something different, and you were looking for it. But like I said, if you look at 4 series, one was an interception, a 4th and 18 touchdown pass, and 2 punts. So, could and again, the defense played differently. So I mean, it's just, and again, I'm not trying to put negatives on Hurts. I think Hurts.
Back this train up a minute. You said the defense played what?
Prevent defense.
They gave up 30 points.
No. The Packers did when Hurts came in originally, the first 2 series.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Oh, I got you.
And that's why that's how you've seen the wide receivers.
I thought you were talking about our A+ defense.
Oh no, the defense again got torched. I mean, that's why I'm saying it. Everybody wants to just blame Wentz. That's why you see Jason Kelce coming out, and everybody here loves Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce said the same thing I was saying. It's coaching. He came out today and ripped the coaching. For why this is happening.
I didn't see that comment. I didn't see that comment that way. I think you're writing in something there that's not Jason Kelce.
So what was the exact comment?
Well, I don't have the exact comment, but I didn't read into it that he was ripping the coaching.
Well, that's what they were talking about on that I didn't see the comment either, but that's what I heard people that were mentioning it, that it was more he was going after the coaching, that the coaching was poor, and that Wentz is his guy. Fletcher Cox came out and said the same thing. It's so now you got the locker room all divided as far as Hurts guys and Wentz guys and.
Well, who's Hurts guys? Who's on Hurts side?
Well, I'm sure the young guys are going to be on Hurts side.
Why?
Well, just because they're
lucky to have a helmet, for crying out loud.
Well,
what do you mean?
But I mean, I don't know who then is the Hurts guys. But I'm just saying the locker room's going to be divided.
There's one guy accountable for all of this, and that's the coach who made the decision to switch quarterbacks.
Well, that too.
So, right or wrong, if Hurts plays phenomenal, he's going to look like a hero. Am I right?
Unless Lori and Howie.
No, I'm not bringing them into the equation. I'm bringing Dougie P into the equation.
No, I understand. Right? Yeah, I mean, he says he's the one that made the call, but I'm saying unless Howie and Lori, come out and say that it was their decision. But you're right.
When does that come out? After they lose the game and then they throw Dougie under the bus? Is that when that happens?
Well, of course. They're going to take the credit when it's their credit. But Doug said it was his call. So, like you said,
exactly.
He had a couple good plays. So, and he kept them in it, even though they were never really in it. He kept them in it, and he's probably playing for his job too. So he said, "What the hell? Let's just play him for the rest of the year."
Well, right. Yeah, but again, you're setting them up for failure, though, too, in a way.
How are you setting up?
Yeah, I'm curious.
How are you setting them up for failure?
Well, you're setting them up for failure because you're going against probably one of the best defenses right now playing.
Well, they are the number one defense. So,
well, I'm saying, but they're playing right now as the number one defense. I mean, they weren't always that way the whole year, but I mean, they got to that point where they are number one right now.
Well, I guess the question is, do you think with Carson Wentz, if he was to play next week, would you have any better of a chance? And I think most people today would probably say no. So why not give him a chance and see what he does? Maybe he could move around the field a little bit better if the receivers aren't open. Maybe he can run a couple touchdowns. It might not be the worst thing.
Well, no, that's what he's going to add to the team is the ability to get out of the pocket and run, which he's going to do more. Where Wentz is staying in the pocket, trying to get to the third and fourth reads. Hurts is going to get the read one and two, and then he's going to take off and run. Can
I make a prediction?
Yep.
You're going to see a totally different offense.
Well, and that was my next point.
They're two totally different quarterbacks. It's a whole different game plan.
Maybe that's what they need.
Well, absolutely, because they have not. What do you got to lose at this point? You know what I mean?
Right.
You put Wentz on the bench. There was a rumor circulating today. I don't know if any of you guys saw it or read it. I don't know who put it out there that there was talk that Wentz might not even suit up. He might.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, you kind of almost have to not have him suited up because now again you're gonna be putting Hurts in the same position of him looking over his shoulder at. But
is he not a professional?
Right.
I mean, it would be no different than any of us and our boss calls us in the office and says, hey, look, I need you to do a better job. I know you're capable of a better job, but I'm going to sit you out for this week, you know what I mean? And have somebody else, run the organization. I think it's going to do everybody a whole lot of good. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
Here lies the problem for this fan's view. There's one problem, and that problem is that John O'Brien is not being objective as to whether this move is the right move for the team or not.
I just told you he's got to play the rest of the year. I didn't say it was a bad move.
No, one game at a time. What if he comes out and does absolutely nothing? You're going to run him back out there again?
Well, at that point, the season's over.
It's been over. The season's been over.
We know that, but they keep saying that they still think that they're going to make the playoffs.
Okay.
So, and that's why they're making this move. So if he comes out and they lose again to a better team right now, I mean, Malcolm Jenkins is licking his chops coming back here. He's going to tell the defense, "I got Hurts, and you guys take care of everybody else." He'll be
Lauren,
the
Lauren, you're being awfully quiet. Come on. I got to bring you in because I know you got something. You got something built up.
No, I mean, well, first of all, arguing with John is no fun anymore. And no, I think, John goes back to those 4 series and what Hurts was able to do. And yes, I think throughout those 4 series, you saw the other holes throughout the organization. But from this beginning of this season, all I called for was some energy from Wentz. And we've never gotten that. Never. He's never put the team on his back. He's never carried them to the end zone. Never. That's never happened. And he came out there and did what Wentz couldn't do. That's all I'm saying. I know the coaching sucks. I know the O-line sucks. I know there's no receivers. There's no running. I know all that stuff. But Wentz wants to be this franchise quarterback. He wants to be the godsend, and he's not. And he's just simply not. He can't spark the offense. He can't do shit, for a lack of a better word. But Hurts goes out there and he rallies them, and that's exactly what Foles did. He rallied that offense, and you saw a completely new offense. Wentz just sits on his hands and does nothing. There's no energy. There's no passion. And his press conference after that game on Sunday, he should be ashamed of himself. Team player, AO1 nonsense. He was so bitter. You want to talk about not being a professional? That was not being a professional. He went up there pissed off as hell because he wasn't going to be the starting quarterback next week, and he already knew that. So he's no team player. He's no team player at all. He sucks. He knows it, and now he's getting replaced already.
Ooh. Well, I mean, you say he hasn't put his team on the back. Did he beat the Giants and came back with the fourth quarter comeback? Did he beat the 49ers this year? So yes. we'll see. Like I said, this isn't a Hurts. You
want to be Aaron Rodgers. You want to be Peyton Manning. You want to be all these guys. I need more than 2 half-decent games.
Yeah, I think she's saying she wants him. If he could do it consistently, then
show me something. Not one game every now and then when the defense also does well.
If you put Aaron Rodgers on this team right now, that they've got the same record. They might be a game better.
I don't agree with that at all because Tom Brady, the receivers and the running backs that he gets, nobody knows who they are either. He makes them somebody.
But they also have a defense, and they have a full team around them.
I don't want to hear that, John. We're not talking about that. We're talking about quarterbacks and offense. We're talking about a quarterback being able to make the crappy players he gets better.
All right, well, we'll see. We'll see next week.
Isn't even there. It's not like Hurts is going to come out on the field Sunday and make miracles happen. But what I'm saying is, Tom Brady gets receivers and running backs all the time that no one has ever heard of, that no one knows anything about. And he makes them superstars because he knows what he's doing. And he's not afraid to put the team on his back and make it happen. Wentz, he's like, oh, the guy wasn't open. And when he is, I overthrow it.
All right, well, we'll see. When we talk next week.
I think there's something going on with Wentz. I don't know if it's something mentally or just no energy or something happened to him. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that when he was on fire a few years ago, and something happened, and I don't know how or if he can get that back. Now, if that's a guy that you trade at some point or move it to another team, I could see him, maybe it's another coach that helps him get back to what he needs to be. Maybe his angle of his arm's not what I don't know what it is, but I could see him going somewhere and maybe doing it again. But mentally, I just feel like he's, he doesn't seem to be there, not into it.
He seems very uninterested. And behind the scenes, is that not getting along with the coaches? Is that not getting along with other teammates? I don't know what it is, but he just seems so blah, and that shows on the field.
Well, I could be wrong, but I think he still is not over him getting hurt and Foles coming in and winning the championship.
And that goes back to him not being a team player. Get over it. Move on. here is your chance, and you're blowing it because your ego's in the way.
Well, you know what? Maybe what happened is maybe they won the Super Bowl, and maybe he just, saw Foles. Yeah, Foles is gone. He's a starting QB, and he's living that life where he's a starting quarterback, and maybe that's why he was so upset this week. Not because they're losing, but because he's not the starting quarterback anymore. I don't know. He just doesn't seem – something doesn't seem there. As a guy that's not even a football guy, just something doesn't seem there about an energy level. Like,
all right, let's reel this back in a little bit because there's no bigger Wentz guy right here than me. Okay, he has not been right ever since Clowney took him out and had a severe concussion, and he just has not been right. I don't know how that affected his game day preparation. All the nonsense that we've been hearing, he has not been that same quarterback that we saw, that we've seen. He showed spurts, but it's just not. There's no consistency there. We can go to last year when they brought in the misfit wide receivers then, and he made everybody look like Jerry Rice, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? So he has shown spurts. But, here we are. It's a terrible football team. It's bad. And, you point all the mistakes right at the quarterback. They're not talking about how bad the defense is. They're talking about how bad Wentz is.
Right.
What
that's the only thing I'm talking about when I defend them. It's
What's
not.
that?
That's all I talk about when I'm defending them. I'm not. You can't judge Wentz or even Hurts, and I'm going to say the same. Same thing when it comes to Hurts. You can't judge either one of them right now with this team because
but I understand what Lauren's talking about. There's no energy there.
Oh, I get that.
There's no energy there. You can lose, and you can lose every game. Trust me. Ask Troy Aikman about losing every game. But you bring energy, and you bring excitement, and you're building for the future. Okay? It's not there. It hasn't been there. So if there's something from the top office of Jeffrey Lurie all the way down to the ball boys, there's issues there, and it shows. It shows all the time, every week. Unfortunately, the coach, they're hired to be fired. That's inevitable. Okay, it's a bad season. Somebody's going to be held accountable. You know what I mean? You don't fire players. Players don't get fired, and they're in the tank for $100 million. So Wentz will be back on the field as a Philadelphia Eagles quarterback. If you don't think so, there's only one way to find out, and that's trade him if you can find a suitable, trade partner. But
unfortunately, they screwed themselves for that.
Well,
because he's a $34 million hit cap hit next year. If they do trade him, so they made it impossible.
Well,
it's 20% of your stuff.
Anything's possible in this world of sports, with all the money that's thrown around. But I just think, it's, this is like Philly sports, right? We just went through this with the Sixers at the end of the season, right? 2 years in a row, we lost, a buzzer beater up in Toronto. They brought everybody back, for the final go round. They end up firing the coach, but they got the same two superstar players. You know what I mean? It's just, if you're going to clean house, you got to do what the Flyers did and clean house.
Right.
And get rid of everybody and start over. You know what I mean? It's just, you look at, the Flyers a little differently because Ron Hextall did a hell of a job drafting. You know what I mean? You don't have that with the Eagles. The draft's been absolutely horrendous. You know what I mean? But I understand the whole Wentz thing, but you had to you had to do something. What else could you have done to try to light a fire under these guys? What other choices did you have?
You didn't, and we talked about that a week ago in the store. That it was time to make the move. It doesn't mean it's Wentz's fault. There's other issues that go into this. We'll find out, as a thing. Hurts was 5 for 12 in this game. It wasn't like he came in and threw, 10 out of 12 passes and a touchdown. He did most of everything with his legs, which is great. That's what he adds to the team. And again, it's not, a knock on him. Last year, Carson Wentz had an offensive line that was, at least 3/4 better than it is this year. And that's what's killing, them. And that's we'll see with other players in the other last 4 games how Hurts does.
Well,
if he comes out and he's like lights out, I'll be the first one.
I don't know how much better. I imagine he would do a little bit better only because the defense is so bad and they don't give you time, so we've got to move. So, whereas Wentz might get sacked over and over, at least Hurts can at least get out of it. I don't know if that'll translate to points, but at least he won't be sacked right away.
Well, I mean, he got sacked 3 times in those 4 series. So
right, it shows you how bad they are. So
right.
Yeah.
And if Wentz was there, they probably would have gotten sacked 7 or 8 times.
Right.
with that offensive line. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's not like he's the magic pill. And was there a little bit of energy? Sure, there was. You put Reagor out there to return punts, and he fumbled it, but then he ran it back for a touchdown. We've been having Greg Ward out there all year long. So those are other options. That sparked the team. It wasn't just, So like I said, and like I said, I don't want to put, Wentz down or Hurts down. In what he did, he came in and he did great. It was a good job that he did. But it wasn't like he was so much better that it was like, oh wow, it definitely was all Wentz's fault. You saw all the other issues that we've been saying when Wentz was in there. Were they a little bit more excited? Okay, didn't lead to a win, so I don't. It's not like it's and we'll see how it affects them going forward these next 4 games. So.
Well. How about that?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, like I said, there's just more to this team than a quarterback issue, and you just double down on the quarterback issue because now, if Hurts comes in here and plays well, now you got $100 million quarterback that you're going to be having on the bench, because there's going to be no reason to go back to Wentz if Hurts does play well and does what he's supposed to do. So, you look bad if he succeeds. You look bad if he doesn't succeed because you drafted him in the 2nd round.
So, are you looking for more negatives, or are you looking for a positive?
I want positives. I want this team to be better.
Well, you're spewing negatives. You're just spewing all negatives because as an Eagles fan, you want to see Wentz come out and do well. Am I right?
Well, but Hurts is the one playing, so need Hurts to be. We need Hurts to do well.
But I get it. But you're looking for change. You're just looking for a spark. Nobody said that this is going to be 100% concrete work. Wentz, you're gone. Hurts, this is your team. No, nobody said that. They're looking for a spark.
No, I understand that spark. But what I'm saying to you is, what happens if he is Patrick Mahomes light? Then you're not going back to Wentz.
Are you going to see that for 4 straight games?
I don't know. We don't know. I mean, we hope so, because he was drafted in the 2nd round. If he has this much talent and he's going to change that much to the offense, because Doug Peterson making different play calls, maybe he is, and that'd be great if he is. As far as Eagles fan, you know what I mean?
All right.
So that's positive. But it's just that we have a $100 million backup quarterback then.
I don't see it like that. And again, we disagree, but that's okay.
Well, okay. Well, my point is, if he does play well, how do you put him back on the bench and put Wentz back out there?
Well, I mean, it's going to be a good problem, number one, and you're going to have to figure out a trade partner to get rid of Wentz. And I think there's probably half the league will be looking for a quarterback, and somebody out there can rebuild Carson Wentz.
Well, they already said we can get a mid-first round pick for him.
I'm not even worried about what they could get for him. But if Hurts comes in and succeeds and he's all that, then you move forward. You figure out a game plan for trading Wentz.
Well, that's what I just said. So I'm not being negative. That's what I said.
Well, you're already worried about, that you got the most expensive backup on the bench. Well, don't
he's going to be here. Well, yeah, but he's going to be here next year, unless the Eagles are willing to take a $34 million salary cap hit.
They will figure it out. That's what they do.
But that's their option. You trade them, yes, and get what you can.
So from the fan standpoint, do we really care about the $34 million?
Well, we will, because that's $34 million you can't spend on somebody else.
Again, I asked, as the fan, do you worry about the $34 million?
I do personally, because it's going to affect the rest of the team for next year.
All right, you don't want to answer my question. That's okay.
I just did.
No, you did not. You spun it in a different direction.
I didn't spin it anyway. I said, for me,
the average Philadelphia Eagle fan, do they care about the $34 million cap hit?
I don't know how to answer it, because I'm answering it for myself. I'm saying yes.
If they understand football,
right?
I mean, if they understand more than just we want to win.
But that's what a lot of people.
If they understand that, what does that mean? They're going to be affected by it, or they're not going to be affected by it?
If they understand the game of football, if they understand that by Wentz sitting on the bench, that's $34 million they can't spend on somebody else.
Right.
I don't know how many Philadelphia Eagles fans are that educated.
So you're agreeing with me, or are you agreeing with your dad then? I don't know.
No, I think it depends on who the fan is. If you're talking about a fan that goes and tailgates on Sundays and just goes for a good old time, they don't understand, that we couldn't get somebody else because Wentz has taken up $34 million. If you're educated and you understand the game of football and how the cap works, then you're mad about it.
Well, so here's my point. If you indeed have to trade Wentz, you got to move him and make the best possible deal moving forward. And if that includes eating $34 million, you spread that out just like they've spread out tons of other contracts.
But that's the point. They can't. It's a dead. I'm telling you, it's a dead.
I understand you're saying dead cap, but there's other ways of spreading that money out.
If they trade them, the rest of the money's gone. It's that $34 million.
That, but just like Lane Johnson, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, they've stretched these contracts out. How much are we under the cap right now? It's close to $30 million, is it not?
Well, this year we maybe, yes. Well, next year we're $60 million over.
So, they've already they could already be game planning for this. Who knows?
Well, maybe, but like I said, it's going to be $34 million of that, whatever the cap. That's 20% of this next year's salary cap is going to be taken up by Wentz's contract if he's not here on the team.
All right.
Okay, so
I'm just saying, it's not.
Mario's got to go. Where you got to go, Mario?
I'm just saying.
It is 7:38, so Don needs
football. Well, we're not even an hour yet on the show because we started late.
We started
John,
at 6:39.
You want to take care of our fantasy?
Yeah, well, fantasy football. The viewers beat Mario's team 196 to 166 this week to get back to them having the lead again at 7-6 for the viewers. We had our first two-time champion for the high scorer, the Massachusetts Meteor. He came back, and Mark Valenciette. He came back and had the high score again this week at 218.66. So congratulations to him getting the high score there with the there was a little bit of a Massachusetts thing. He picked the New England Patriots there, and he got him 31 points. So that put him over the edge there to get that. He got that win over Tom. So that was a nice win for him. Devontae Adams was the high scorer for the viewers team with 29.1 points. I guess the viewers can thank the Eagles defense for getting on those points there. So we had a record high of 33 viewers picked Davante Adams. So I will put that in our randomizer to figure out. We have the raffle numbers up on the website for who won that, and so it's week 13, so we're going to generate it 13 times, and we'll be doing that here, but yeah, we had 38 players this week, so it was a good week this week as well with voters. We missed out on a couple players that played normally.
Who's
right.
who's got the controls this week?
I'm the team this week. It's ticking.
Okay. All right. Well, you got to get us back to 500.
I know, and then we're going to hand it off to you to get us over 500, and Lauren's going to seal the deal the week after that, and we can get the viewers or the host here back on top of things.
All right.
So, oh boy, the winner is Tyler.
Yeah.
Tyler won. Tyler O'Brien won. Number 14.
Woo!
You know what? There's energy. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe he should be on the show.
Maybe he should.
Or maybe we should play for the Eagles.
Or both.
Well, he thinks he could do a better job than Doug Peterson too, coaching. So,
Well, that's because he lives with you and listens to all
Because
that.
the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Once I'm proven wrong, I'll be the first one to say I'm wrong.
Proven wrong.
I think the apple fell
Proven
directly
wrong.
next to the tree.
Seriously,
apple sounds
no matter and whacked his head.
I'm just saying. You once like I said, if Hurts comes out here and his,
It's not about that. You're missing the boat completely.
I'm not.
You
But
are.
I understand about the
missing
energy.
boat.
I understand about the energy.
You're
I
totally
get it.
you're totally missing the whole team concept here and what's at stake, Sunday.
Well, the team concept has been ruined by having these two quarterbacks going at it.
Well,
Well, the only reason they're going at it is because Wentz sucks.
I
Well-
know you keep saying that, but we'll see.
let me just throw this tidbit at you as I close. Green Bay had a very similar situation, did they not? With Aaron Rodgers playing really crappy, and they thought he was maybe on his way out the door, and they went ahead and drafted a quarterback as well. Okay, see the parallel there? See what's happening there? Now all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers is playing out of his mind. So, maybe the right psyche there in Green Bay was a little bit different, but the same thought process.
Maybe.
Bringing and drafting a young quarterback, wasting a draft pick. Maybe it's not waste 2-3 years down the road, but it ignited Aaron Rodgers to have an MVP type season this year. So maybe that's what they were trying to do with Carson. Who knows? I honestly don't know, but you know what? They need a burst of energy, and hopefully Jalen can bring that on Sunday.
I hope he does too. Yeah, like I said, I'm all there. We're all Eagles fans. That's all we want to have is do. But
I know I am. I know I am.
But I would also like to have Davante Adams on the team to make my quarterback look better too. So
my closing comment is I'm going to talk right over you. So yeah, I'm just talking right over that. So my closing comment is I got my Carl's kettle and I'm looking to fill it, and I've got quite a few people already on board.
Awesome.
Trying to raise $500. I'm almost halfway there. I still got time. You guys still got time. I'm matching $500. Mario's matching $500. So we're hoping to write a check for $1,500 to Humane Pennsylvania. And Lauren, give us the spin for Saturday, because I understand you're collaborating with the Fightins on Saturday for a day up in Baseball Town.
Yep. So our takeaway for the night is this Saturday. If you're looking for some fun, festive times, you can head to the Reading Fight and Phil Stadium. It's First Energy Stadium here in Reading from 12 to 3. Bring us a bag of dry dog or dry cat food, and you'll get a free photo with Santa in front of his tiny house, which we've decorated. And you'll also get a 10% off coupon for Inside the Fightins team store from 12 to 3. So if anyone is in the area and wants to swing by, we'd love to see you.
Nice.
Very cool.
Very nice.
John.
John, what do you got? Just skip right over. We know where he's going.
Go ahead, John.
We're all going to get behind Hurts. Let's go. Get the Eagles going, and let's see what happens. That's all.
All right. With that, I will say a happy early birthday to my friend Kim Miller. Her birthday's tomorrow. She will be another year older. I won't give her age away. I'll end with that and say see you next week. Go Birds.
Absolutely. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Got it.
See you later.